you're looking to buy a property. You've been looking to buy a property, but all you keep seeing are deals that aren't even deals. You keep hearing about friends, relatives, neighbors, people going out buying houses at $1,000, $10,000, $50,000 above asking price. Why would anybody do something like that when there's a better way? And I know it. So I've had a lot of experience buying foreclosed properties, and it's not for the faint of heart. And you should never buy a foreclosed property without subscribing and learning more about how to do it. But let me tell you this, if you had the opportunity to buy a house at $50,000 over list price, or the opportunity at buying a house at $50,000 below market value, would you take a little bit of time to learn about how you can make that happen? Of course you would. So let's talk about this and what's going to be happening in the future as foreclosure auctions are starting to rise back again. There's actually an article coming out, or that it is out right now, and I'm going to show that to you here real quick. But foreclosure auctions are something that I've done a ton of. Matt and I here at Two Guys Take on Real Estate, we've gone to hundreds, thousands of auctions. We bought hundreds of properties from foreclosure. And let me tell you, like I said, it's not for the faint of heart. There's a lot that can go wrong, but there's a lot that can go so right in terms of making yourself financially free and building generational wealth. So let's talk about what's happening right now out there in foreclosure land and where you can find the state with the highest amount of foreclosures. So this state is the highest foreclosure rate in America, and this guy writes about this a little bit. He's not wrong. It's been a little while since we had this huge crash in the real estate world. We've all been waiting on the real estate crash to happen again. But back then, it was for a couple of different reasons than what was happening right now. Back then, rates were rising and people were losing their jobs, and that's true. But more importantly, banks were giving out loans to all sorts of people that had no business getting a loan. They didn't understand the loan terms. They didn't understand that their rate was going to shift and change. They didn't know, nobody could know that the rates were going to go through the roof on them, but they didn't qualify. They had horrible credit. You wouldn't loan this guy $5 if he asked you on the street for it, never mind loaning him $500,000 for a house. So the crisis that happened before won't be the crisis that you're going to see happen this time around, but the results might end up being the same. So it's coming back, as he says, the foreclosure problem has returned, and yeah, you're seeing some traction starting to happen here. What's going to end up happening is this stuff's going to shift market by market before it becomes a nationwide thing. And we're going to talk about where you can find more foreclosures. It's going to be in some areas versus some others. Foreclosure activity is still 57% lower than it was in the first 3 months of 2020. And that's okay. You want to be getting ready. Remember, if something goes on clearance and you don't have any money in your pocket, you can't exactly buy it no matter how sweet the deal is. So if you have a foreclosure auction that happens tomorrow and you're not in a position to buy, it doesn't do you any good. The time is now to start getting ready, because as this stuff starts going back up, as these numbers start spiking, you need to be ready to pounce on these amazing opportunities out there for you to acquire property that you can then do something with. And we teach you all the different strategies about how you can use a foreclosure auction to improve your situation, whether it's using it through the BRRRR method, a buy and hold strategy. Maybe you're going to do a fix and flip. Maybe you're going to buy it so you and your family can live in it. Maybe do a little house hacking. We teach all that stuff right here on our channel. But look at this. Look at how these things are literally jumping up. Foreclosure activity shot up nearly 500% in Nevada and Michigan. Foreclosure activity has risen nationwide 135%. Foreclosures, there was a moratorium on them, guys. Don't forget, they were artificially suppressed. They're bouncing back, and they're going to continue to bounce back. That's part of the reason there was a housing shortage, is they stopped part of the cycle of providing housing to the market. Foreclosures happen. A lot of times they're run down and distressed properties. People will buy them. People fix them up. People then sell them. They're getting them back into the supply. And that was artificially stopped for a while there. And that's been lifted. It's starting to come back. We're going to see the cycle start continuing again, maybe with an avalanche. In 3 states, Wyoming, Louisiana, Mississippi, underwater mortgages accounted for between 10 and 17% of all mortgages. What do you think? As the stimulus money is gone, as people are realizing the free ride is gone in a lot of ways, I think that number is going to spike and go back up even further. Underwater mortgages, when a home is worth less than the mortgage, the money owed on the mortgage. As we're starting to see property values starting to fall, you're going to see that happening as well. Remember, the Fed's been raising their rates. You're going to see the increased housing prices start deflating a little bit. You're going to see that number spiking significantly. And they're saying the state with the highest foreclosure rate is Illinois. Ding, 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 ding. If you live in Illinois, you might not for long. No, you might have an opportunity to be driving up and down the street, hitting different foreclosure auctions on a daily basis, scooping up property at a fraction of what it was just a year ago or 5 years ago. If you are out of state, there's lots of different ways you could learn, and we teach you about how to do real estate investing out of state. So you don't have to live in Illinois for you to capitalize on market opportunities there. So this might be a great time to start learning about some different locations in the state of Illinois where you can start working on scooping up foreclosure properties, figuring out what your plan is going to be. Maybe you're going to build a portfolio out there where you'll buy these places, you'll fix them up, you'll rent them out to people. Maybe you'll hire a local property management company out there to do it. Maybe you'll relocate and do it yourself. Maybe you'll buy these properties and just simply fix and flip them. Maybe you'll buy them at foreclosure auctions and immediately turn around and sell them to a flipper that's looking to source their own properties and keep their crews working. There's so many different strategies you can use to help get the supply back into the productive market. Taxes are going to start getting paid on these properties. They're probably going to be all fixed up and cleaned up. The neighborhoods are going to appreciate it, and you're going to keep the properties from going into blighted status. This is huge, and this is starting right now in Illinois, leading the charge. What state's going to be next? If you want to learn more about this stuff, continue to follow our channel here at Two Guys Take on Real Estate. Until next time, I'm Kevin, the Property Prince, and we'll see you back here with more foreclosure news.